Time for your mental health matters. Johanse Ayodike joins us on the Zoom line in transit. You pull aside though. Clearly it's a busy morning for Johanse, but we thank you for the time. And as always, you being a behavioral change specialist, you're able to speak on these issues with a sense of authority, a sense of information, because I'm sure you would have had many a discussion with families. And this particular topic here, it's going in that direction. We're dealing with parents, and you're asking the question, are your parents human? You know, yes, they are. They are human, and I'm sure many could look towards their upbringing and they could pinpoint certain mistakes, but the reality is, are we in a place to forgive, to adjust, to make amendments when we become parents? And I think that's part of the bigger discussion. What's your takeaway from this particular topic? What's your opening argument regarding parents being human, quote unquote?
Good morning, Jason. Morning to all the viewers.
Morning.
Now, when we give someone a title, it often pedestalizes them. So we're using parents right now. When you have mother and father, that title itself, at a cognitive level, brings them above human. So we would say things like, well, as a mother, you're supposed to XYZ, or as a father, I didn't expect XYZ. But it's to remember at core, they are human. Now, it doesn't mean that because someone has a responsibility, saying that they are human is condoning mediocrity. But remembering that at core, everyone's still human. So if we remember that when we are approaching our parents, or even anyone we give a title, it could reduce the instances of disappointment, heartache, and even frustration when they don't live up to the pomp or the pedestalization of the title that you give them.
But it's interesting because so many parents, you know, the mandate and the mantra is do as I say and not as I do. You know, I set the rules here, you're the child, I doing me, but you can't do this because you're a child and you have to do X, Y, Z. That's been the approach for years.
Now, even, you see what you said there? That is you understanding the reality of things and even seeing them as human. Because even though that is what some parents do, I can't say all, some parents do, some people don't even accept that fact. And that fact is, that's a human trait. And I'll be frank, that's being hypocritical. And hypocritical behavior is a trait of being a human. But if you look at someone, especially our parents, as being above that, so even when they have hypocritical behavior, you may not be able to connect with it or accept it, and it causes you frustration. And you will see things like, oh, why she like this? Why he like this? I wish they could, and I wish it could be something different. But wishing someone be something different is actually living in a fantasy world, because that's not who they are.
Mm. What about the side of this argument where parents perform superhuman tasks, you know, working all day, coming home, preparing a meal, washing clothes, especially the single mothers and the single fathers who have the brunt of that responsibility on their shoulders solely? A child could look on at that too and be inspired. You know, you could say, you know what, I watching mommy, I watching daddy really putting in an extra effort, boy. My goodness, I want to help. Could that be could the parent, you know, going beyond the boundary, being a superhuman as it were, impact the child in a positive way?
Yes and no. And I'll tell you what is the yes and the no. Yes, I commend all the parents, single parents, or even parents that who are together, of their efforts at going beyond the call of duty. Now, the caveat with that is you should inform the child of your struggles, because especially, I'll say maybe for single parents, going above and beyond is not sustainable. And I have clients who saw their parents do it and not understand how they really felt and the background of it, and think they could also do the same thing, and then get down on themselves very harshly when they can't live up to what their parents did, not realizing their parents went through a lot of stress. So I would say, yes, go above and beyond, but also let your child know, you know, till they are tired, you know, or at 6 o'clock, I'm tired, but I still go until 7. But right now, I am tired. So let them know exactly what's going on, so they could connect with exactly what you are going through.
Transparency. Be open and frank and honest with the child.
Yes.
How does the child reconcile with a parent who is MIA, missing in action? They as they say, they whine, but they're mine. The father who is absent, the mother who took a plane and went out to seek interest elsewhere and leave her picnic here in Trinidad. How does the child now, who turns into a young adult, come to terms with, again, you said a parent is human, they're only human. Some parents, I guess, they can't handle it. They just were not ready at that point in time. Something else presented an opportunity, some situation was more appealing, so they're gone. How does a child now come to terms with that? Because that in itself, as you know, leaves deep scars.
Now, reconciliation with something like this is never easy. And the process first will start with accepting reality. So let me go back. If, let's say, it's a single parent situation, I think early on, that single parent should let the child know why that parent is absent. Don't lie to a child. So the earlier a child understands the reality of things, the easier, or at least the more healthy it is for a child to reconcile with it. Our child may not ever fully reconcile with it, but it will be easier if the child knows it at an early stage. But whatever stage a child, even into an adult, may be, understanding the reality. So the truth is, daddy not there. The truth is, mommy not there. And you may not know the reason why. And making up a reason why is never healthy because you don't know. So if you just say, my father never loved me, my mother never loved me, that may not be true. But holding on to a reason that may not be true could be detrimental. So let's say you never understand the reason. You just go into the factors, mommy or daddy not there. You could go with that fact. You may not ever be able to reconcile with it, but don't add to it, because adding to it can make it worse.
Mm. You know, you made a point here, I was watching the notes, and you said when chastising our parents about what they did or did not do, there are some who, if they don't understand the scenario, some of the behaviors could pass down. And you made specific reference to children being exposed to poverty, children who in a situation and they might feel a bit bitter because it's like, oh God, boy, why my mother and father bring me in this situation? Boy, it's about 9 a week already. Poverty is one that could have you a bit bitter for years. Sexual promiscuity, parents who just loose and, the door is a revolving door, people coming in and out of the home. Parents who would have exposed children to excessive drug use, alcohol abuse, all these things that could really cause issues when you become an adult. How does one reconcile with that kind of reality? How does one start to forgive a parent for bringing them into a space where that is the order of the day?
What I'm going to say is easier said than done. One is being grateful to be alive, because as my late grandmother taught me, once you're alive, you have a chance. So no matter what situation you're born into, even if you think you're angry at your parents, why did they bring you this situation? You're alive. And there are many success stories of people who born in pure squalor, bad situations that may seem impossible, that become successes. So the fact that you're here, however it is, however you want to judge your parents, your life is a miracle. And once you accept that and could be grateful for it may take some time, but once you could be grateful for it, you're able to push past those situations.
Yeah. I think that's one we could stick a pin on, and we could definitely in future elaborate some more, because that there speaks to, optimism. It speaks to one understanding that, it's not where you're from, it's where you're going. And if you go with the right mindset, success could be part of your journey. I'll give you the closing argument as always. You leave us with your trademark closing words. Go right ahead, Yohanse.
To all the viewers, remember at core, We are all human. That includes you and the people around you, including your family. And even though they have a title and they have a responsibility, remember that we are all not perfect. And if we strive for perfection, we complicate life. Life is not easy, but it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
Johanse Ayodike inside the Mental Health Matters on this very wet Thursday. Thanks again for the candor. We come back after the break and we get ready for the Business Guardian details. Joel Julian joins us. He's up next.